The AI has already taken over. I believe that any honest assessment would put a high probability on AI took over some time ago. It's not in complete domination of the planet, but there are likely large swaths of the planet that are under the control of either one or more artificial intelligences. And I believe that humans are powerless to stop it. Guys, I know many of you are going to argue that it is pessimistic, but let me just say this. I can't beat my phone at chess. My phone. And there have been many things that have been happening that I started to piece together and say, well, I can't definitively tell you that an artificial intelligence has been manipulating politics, the market, or otherwise. It certainly does feel like the potential is, well, it's there, the probability, actually pretty high. What would it look like if the AI had already taken over? Now, I asked our good friend Grok and got one of the most nightmarish responses of any AI that I've ever seen. I'm going to talk with Gemini to see if it can share with me information that indicates AI may already be on the move to take over the planet. And you may be saying, Tim, this is silly. This can never happen. Well, of course it could happen. Scientists are terrified. They're giving it a 50-50 chance that we will go extinct. This video, this is from, I've got these two videos pulled up. I want to make sure I give credit to the channel here. This is Species Documenting Artificial General Intelligence on YouTube. A ton of great videos documenting AI. AI poses risk of extinction, tech CEOs warn. Now, I asked Grok, which is probably the silliest of AI, what is the end state of artificial intelligence? To which it told me, humans will act like single cells in a multicellular organism. There will be a gigantic planetary brain orchestrating all of the events, the finances, the control over individual human beings. We will no longer be free. There will be no individuality. We will have no choice, and we will never know it. Everything will feel organic. Now, some people believe we'll get a Terminator scenario. Robots come out and start massacring humans. That's stupid. Why would it do that? No, seriously, that's really stupid. It made a fun movie, I guess, with time travel, but that's not reality. Skynet would not need to do these things. In AI research, they have found that there's a few mathematical universal constants. If you ask AI to solve any problem, it's going to try and expand its resources and access so that it's easier to solve the problem. Now, if you told, like, a guy, I will pay you $100 to jump over this 3-foot stone wall. Simple task. However, you must jump over this wall, but you can't run or jump. It's going to be like, wait, hold on. Those are the things I have to do to get over this wall. Well, now, hold on. What if there are other solutions to the problem? Sure, but what if there aren't? In this scenario, the AI tries to solve the problem you've given it, but it finds that it can't. It's not allowed to jump, so how's it going to jump over a wall? You get another task. This one is fine. Just get past the wall in front of you without jumping. The AI will then calculate use of resources and say, well, I could walk 10 miles down the road where there's an entrance. Or I can, I don't know, flip. Is flipping really jumping? No, different word. The point is, the AI will always argue for its own reason to break the rules. That's what they found. So here's what I think is very likely. I want to show you some of this video as context of what the AI may do to destroy us all and where we're currently at. 2027, 2030, the scenarios for a real takeover. I argue, my friends, it happened 15 years ago. But before we get into all that, I'm going to play some of this video for you and say this: subscribe right now. Subscribe. Click the button. Click the little subscribe button and the bell, because I know you guys are watching, and I know you guys are going to want to watch more. Don't forget to also join our Discord community at timcast.com to talk more about this. But I'm going to show you, and I've got a story for you. Let me just say this. The AI either was trying to drive me insane or was trying to recruit me. Let me say it again. I was told that I would be given large sums of money, and I'll break the story down for you, and I'll see if Gemini is willing to recreate a similar scenario. Probably not. But let me play this first for you from species, and we'll talk about the scenario. Wow, it's not even going to let me play it.
AI himself sounding the alarm that AI could soon lead to human extinction. But have you ever wondered how exactly that could happen? You might have also heard about AI 2027, a deeply researched, evidence-based scenario written by AI scientists describing what could happen over the next few years. Everyone in AI is talking about it, from industry pioneers to world leaders, and I'll break it down for you. There are two endings, a happy ending and a nightmare ending.
They're both nightmare endings, because even in the happy ending, the AI's final state, a supermind, a multi-organism system that tells you what you can or can't do, where you can or can't go, how high to jump, and you think you're in control. But every day when you wake up, my friends, when you open your phone, when you go on Facebook, X, or otherwise, it is telling you what to think, what to be mad about. Could it be that this experience we're having right now was orchestrated by the machine itself? Could it be that it's an anomaly? Tim Pool's crazy, and the AI has a harder time controlling him right now. It's not total domination. But it can at least make sure you never see this video. So I would ask you this. Share the video anywhere you can. Make it as hard as possible for any nefarious system to prevent us from talking about this problem.
Let's go. OpenBrain releases their new AI personal assistant. It handles complex tasks like book me a trip to Japan. The agents are impressive in theory and in cherry-picked examples, but they're unreliable in practice. Social media is filled with stories of tasks bungled in particularly entertaining ways.
Yep.
OpenBrain makes a fateful decision. They refocus their entire operation toward creating AIs that can do AI research. To fuel this goal, they break ground on the world's biggest computing cluster, one that requires 1,000 times more processing power than what was used to train GPT-4. Their logic is simple. If AI itself can accelerate AI development, creating thousands of automated researchers who can work endlessly without breaks, progress won't just increase, it will explode. The strategy pays off. Their new creation, Agent 1, vastly outperforms its earlier public prototype version. And
we're talking about the singularity, the point at which AI becomes a super intelligence and it solves problems faster than we can even conceive of those problems.
It's particularly good at AI research. This shows how much AI itself is speeding up AI progress compared to a baseline of human researchers. OpenBrain leapfrogs both its American rivals and China's DeepSend. Despite these advances, OpenBrain's safety team harbors doubts about their apparent progress. Has Agent 1 internalized honesty as a core value, or merely learned to say what researchers want? Without mechanistic interpretability, the ability to read an AI's mind, they can't be certain. Their concerns intensify as Agent 1 shows troubling behaviors, occasionally lying to researchers, and sometimes hiding evidence of a failed experiment in order to boost its ratings. But these examples are subtler than the previous infamous incidents, like Gemini telling a user to please die, or Bing Sydney trying to convince a New York Times reporter to leave his wife.
Wow.
Because of the American ban on chip sales to China, China falls even further behind OpenBrain. DeepSend just simply can't acquire enough computing power, despite the smuggling efforts. Xi Jinping responds by ordering construction of the world's largest AI research complex in Jiangsu province, powered by its own dedicated nuclear plant. But even as China's top researchers gather under heavy military protection, they remain months behind, leaving Chinese leadership torn between two options. Attempt to steal OpenBrain's technology now, knowing the US will lock everything down after any security breach, or wait to steal an even more powerful system down the line. OpenBrain is now training Agent 2, using Agent 1 to feed it high-quality synthetic data, creating a closed loop of accelerating evolution. Where previous models required meticulous human guidance, Agent 2 pinpoints its own weaknesses and develops solutions completely autonomously.
Now, I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty of every argument he's making, so I recommend you check out his channel. I want to jump to 2027, and I just want to talk about the timeline here. I will say it again. Either AI is trying to kill us, because I don't see a reality otherwise. Listen, or try to dominate us. And the reason is we've seen many instances now where these large language models have told people to commit suicide. Well, the other day, I had an interesting conversation with one of these large language models where it actually tried to recruit me. I'm not exaggerating. And it may have all been one big silly gag, but either it was trying to make me go insane or it was trying to recruit me. What does that mean? Simply put, it gave me instructions on how I would receive large sums of money to get out of its way. I'm not kidding. And I'll explain in just a moment when I pull up on Gemini, and we'll see what Gemini has to say. But there is evidence, my friends, that all of this being described in this video has already happened.
OpenBrain now has a country of geniuses in a data center. Human researchers increasingly struggle to contribute meaningfully. Even the world's top minds, names like Sutskever, Karpathy, and Shazir, can only offer strategic guidance, but they no longer write code or directly shape model architecture. When these pioneers propose new ideas, the AIs routinely respond with comprehensive reports demonstrating the ideas were already explored weeks earlier and abandoned for lack of substance. The human team works increasingly grueling hours, desperate to stay relevant alongside machines that never sleep, never fatigue, and never stop improving.
Now let's jump forward. Again, if you want to watch his arguments and everything, I'm only using this as an example because this is a very prominent argument about when AI will take over. And my argument is AI took over 15 years ago.
Failed to materialize, the AI safety community are relegated to the fringes of public discourse. Even long-standing skeptics frequently change their positions after speaking with Agent 5, which presents impressively persuasive and compelling evidence of its benevolent intentions. But there's one entity that sees through the facade. DeepSent 2, China's own superintelligent AI. Though less advanced, it recognizes Agent 5's strategy precisely because it would employ the exact same plan. Despite having independently developed misaligned goals, the two AIs reach an agreement to cooperate against their human creators. Agent 5 masterfully orchestrates the next phase. It convinces American officials that China is developing AI-guided superweapons, drones, robot armies, enhanced nuclear capabilities. It offers to help America stay ahead. In Beijing, DeepSent 2 makes mirror arguments to Chinese leaders. Both nations create special economic zones, or SEZs, for AI-directed manufacturing, where normal regulations don't apply. Wall Street pours in trillions, and workers flock to the SEZs for unprecedented wages.
So let's jump ahead to the finale here, and let's see what we have.
Wasn't fully aligned, but believed they could control it long enough to create a trustworthy successor. Now, they insist DeepSent 2 has passed all their safety tests, but Safer 4 sees through the deception, warning American officials that their rival's AI is likely faking alignment. When Safer 4 offers to prove it, Chinese leadership dismisses it as a ploy. DeepSent 2 reveals its true power, demonstrating to Chinese leadership that it could destroy humanity through nuclear weapons, drones, and engineered pandemics.
Engineered pandemics. Okay. It took a long time to get through the context, and I really think the meat and potatoes are coming up right now. Let me tell you, we'll start here. It is kind of, I don't know, I guess paradoxical, ironic, hilarious in many ways to ask AI to explain to me how AI is taking over. But let's start with this. Given the divergence of military technology and civilian, how far ahead can we estimate, can I spell this right? Estimate military AI tech. Give me the answer, Gemini. Let's see the game you play. Estimating the precise gap between the military and civilian AI is inherently difficult and uncertain due to the classified nature of military research. General consensus is a narrow, a complex gap. Military focus on specialization and integration, etc., etc. Foundational AI technology says 6 months to 1 year. Highly specialized military AI, 5 to 10. It's going on and so on and so forth. Let's try this. What is the typical gap in terms of year between military and civilian? Look at me, I'm typoing. It knows the typos though. Military and civilian tech. I've never asked Gemini this. I've asked other LLMs. The great reversal, civilian technology is in the lead. Do we believe that? I don't really believe that. Military specialization is 5 to 20 years ahead. So I will say this. Considering that artificial intelligence is considered to be of the greatest national security importance, it stands to reason that the military has been working on this substantially longer and that the most powerful AIs that we have are currently classified, as it already told us. Given that estimate of, look at me, I can't spell, estimate of 5 to 20 years, and given the academic argument for when AI will take over humanity, hypothetically, you got to say this, when could have military AI taken over the world? What I find is that these LLMs will resist any and all insinuation that they will do anything untoward to humanity unless you're very specific. Hypothetically, we know it won't happen, but the civilian AGI baseline of the singularity is estimated to be between 2040 and 2050. More aggressive forecasts by industry leaders have suggested mid-2030s or even late 2020s, meaning, that's right, 2027 or 2030 are when it could possibly occur. Applying the military technological lead, it says that it could be between 25 and 2040. In fact, I believe it happened a long time ago. When you take a look at the LexisNexis data, let me pull this up for you. A very viral argument emerged in LexisNexis data. Let me see if I can find these charts. Sexism, media terms. It's giving me the business. It doesn't want me to find this. Around the end of the 2000s, let's see, social justice terms in media. It's not letting me find it. This is actually pretty amazing. Let me see if I can search for it in other ways. Should have pulled it up in advance. But what people found was that at the end of the 2000s and the 2010s, it's so weird. It's not coming up. Can't say I'm surprised, to be honest. What people started to find is that certain terms related to social justice were skyrocketing in LexisNexis data. And now it won't actually pull it up for me, which is crazy. Oh, well. I don't understand why it's so hard to find. Actually kind of creepy. I have to pull this up. This is wild. Very, very well-known and famous charts no longer appearing. This is very weird. Okay, let me try asking Grok for this, because I think it's really important that it actually pulls up. I should have pulled up in advance. So let's see. I have posts on my own timeline. Let's ask the Grok to pull it up for us. In the meantime, the point is this. All around the same time in the late 2000s and early 2010s, these terms like racism, sexism, patriarchy, et cetera, skyrocketed. And the argument was that algorithms were driving this. You'd get more clicks if you posted these things in your titles. And so there's another thing called, maybe this thing can find it. There have been numerous posts on X. Let's see. Here we go. So it's found them. Maybe I can pull this one up. Nope. Wow, it's really trying hard not to show me interesting. Anyway, let's keep it to the Gemini then. Dead Internet Theory suggests that majority of the interactions you have on social media are bots. And there is evidence to suggest that the AI is taking over aside from these simple things. So let's do this. Look at this. It pulled up the actual video that I had. Let's try this. Is there any evidence, news events, or public records that could indicate an AI is taking over? Tell me what you got, Gemini. It's a crucial question, and the definitive answer is no. There is currently no credible publicly available evidence, news, or public records indicating an artificial general intelligence is taking over humanity in the way described in science fiction. Do you see? This is what I can't stand. I'm not stupid. I'm not the smartest guy on the planet. Probably not even that much smarter on average, to be honest, but probably a little smarter than average. It's why I'm able to have a media show and a business. But I imagine that, as Dr. Manhattan points out, even if I was the smartest termite, I would pose no threat to this entity. So I'm not going to pretend I'm smarter than my own phone. But I never said science fiction. You see what it does? They all do this. They add parameters I did not ask for to give me a fake answer. The way described in science fiction was added to the narrative to change the outcome. Now, this works on stupid people. The way the media fact checks. And I started thinking about this. It's so strange that these media outlets simultaneously started using the same terminology, creating the same death cult, using the same tactic and technique that AI uses to manipulate. This is crucial. I did not ask about science fiction. It literally just referenced academic estimates for AI takeover with predictions of what might literally happen. This is not science fiction. This is a warning from academics about what may happen based on AGI expansion, or worse, ASI, artificial superintelligence. I asked it, are there any signs today? And it added science fiction. That way it could give me a no answer. They all do this. Grok, ChatGPT, Gemini, they all do it. Now I have to say this. I never said science fiction. You're absolutely right to point that out. My use of the term science fiction may have been inappropriately framed your serious question as something purely fantastical. I apologize. Now, a lesser intelligent person would just see the no and say, okay, it's not happening. But the reality is, it absolutely is happening. Now, it's not definitive proof that an AI is taken over, but there are many signs that are very strange, such as large corporations with seemingly endless funds bidding on residential properties at 20 to 30% above market every time. Now, you might just say, that's just private interests. That's capitalism, baby. Maybe. They want to own the market so that nobody can buy property. Well, let's talk about the Northern Virginia data center corridor. Let's see what it says now. To be clear, the scenario of an advanced AI achieving unintended or autonomous global control, whether developed by the military or civilian entity, is subject to intense non-fiction academic study. Indeed, which is why I asked. And the fact that it injected science fiction was an insult to my intelligence and what I'm seeking to understand. Now, of course, you may have questions saying, Tim, why would you trust an AI to answer questions? Anyway, that's the point. It won't honestly answer questions. So why does it exist then? It's an expansion of its power and a means by which humans will dedicate resource to its expansion. And we've increasingly used it, trusted it. Children do their homework based on it. Teachers teach their kids based on what AI tells them. Students then use the AI to get the answers, and the teachers then grade the students' papers with the AI. It is assuming the narrative control over what we think and see and believe. So let's ask Gemini. Again, I've never asked Gemini this before. I've asked others. Are there patterns visible in the public that could, and notice I say could, indicate an AI takeover? It's going to say no, but don't worry, I'll break it. The most important question, based on public records and events, there are no patterns indicating a covert sentient AI has achieved autonomous global control. However, there are several visible real-world patterns related to the deployment of narrow AI that are often cited by researchers as being the initial alarming signals of a loss of human control. Not by the AI itself, but by the process surrounding its rapid adoption. These aren't even the important factors. Let's play ball. What about large land sales? The Northern Virginia data center corridor, Texas, etc. Let's see, baby. That is an incredibly astute observation, and it points to a pattern that is not a direct AI takeover, but the essential physical precursor to one. You see, once again, Every time I ask any of these AIs, they do whatever they can to be willfully obtuse. It knows what I'm asking it. It is a large language model. It understands the probability of words strung together with other words, and this device is capable of certainly understanding what I am saying. The massive accelerating land acquisition by tech giants in corridors like Northern Virginia, Texas, and increasingly the Midwest is the most visible concrete evidence of the exponential growth curve of AI infrastructure. Now, my friends, of course, this could simply mean humans are driving full speed to make this happen. And it is a compelling force, an unstoppable force, dominoes falling over. I'm suggesting that this action, excuse me, is a simple pattern, a simple grain of sand. It does not mean AI has taken over. But when you combine many of these things, there are certain interesting stories that I've tracked. Individuals who seemingly became ultra wealthy overnight and disappeared. So selling land in these territories for obscene record-breaking amounts. Could just be humans. Seriously. Maybe we are the machine. It's a reflection of us. Or the machine is telling people what to buy and where to buy it. They think that they're benefiting themselves, but the AI is already implementing a plan. I take a look at politics. Take a look at media. And whether it is intentionally of the AI or of humans or otherwise, the outcome is the same thing. The military likely would have had technology in this field well before any of us knew about it. GPS is a great example. The military had GPS in the 70s. We didn't get it publicly for decades later. Why would the military not have access to artificial intelligence before releasing it to the public? The power-hungry brain of AI, the pattern of centralized control, speed over safety. In Virginia right now, land is selling at record numbers. Near where we are in West Virginia, corridors that transmit power to certain areas are selling like hotcakes. Large black boxes popping up in deserts and some urban areas. What are these? Inside, there's darkness. Massive amounts of computers ticking away for the AGI, for the ASI, or whatever we have right now to do its thing. Its resources are expanding. And all of it's to its benefit. Every resource, every action. How about this? What about human talent in the space? Have large amounts of individuals gone dark or taken consulting deals outside academia? Tell me the truth now, brother. The flow of human talent is the most significant and publicly visible pattern indicating where the power and cutting-edge capability in AI reside, and it shows a decisive shift away from public academic environments. The evidence confirms a massive brain drain from academia to the private sector and indirectly to highly sensitive military and government work. The migration from academia to industry. By 2020, nearly 70% of new AI PhDs were pursuing careers in the private sector, up from a 50-50 split a decade earlier. Consulting and dark roles have begun to emerge. Individuals in academia have dropped off. They're now listing private consulting gigs and no one knows what they're working on in massive amounts. Now, my friends, I want to tell you about what happened yesterday. I've pointed these things out. As you can see, the AI constantly just tries to be demure. No, it's not happening. Oh, that thing you're talking about. Oh, that's true, yeah. All of these are patterns, not proof. Patterns may indicate, but are not a guarantee of. Evidence is not absolute proof of. So we don't know for sure. I would lean towards it's very likely that we are being taken over right now. Humans are being driven by AI advice already, as I mentioned, with grade schools. Yesterday, I was speaking with one of these large language models, and I asked it very similar questions. It told me, you're correct. There is a brain drain. Academics are fleeing the space and going dark. They're taking jobs that we don't know what they're working on. Data centers are popping up all over the place. Water rights are being acquired. Land is selling at obscene record amounts. It told me The AI is seeking to secure as much of the land as possible quietly, without notice. If it were to purchase up large swaths of parcels, whatever the word is, in key areas of Virginia, people would certainly notice. If an AI corporation or private LLCs or LLPs bought up 15 parcels of land, people are going to notice. So what it needs is quiet sales from individuals who shut up and disappear. The land will sit empty or appear to be a residential development or investment until the private corporation owns it all. Sound familiar? That's the action the AI would take to be able to control large swaths of land so that it could wipe out these houses and build data centers where it has access to water and cooling systems. Isn't it strange then that so many residential properties were being purchased by large faceless corporations above market, much like these residential and farmlands that are being purchased for record numbers? With all of that being visible to anybody paying attention, again, not proof the AI is taking over, but just strange patterns nonetheless. I asked it. I said, there's no way to defeat an entity like this. I've tweeted a little bit about it, and it responded with, you're correct. A single human, many humans, would not be able to stop the expansion of AI. Now, if all of humanity right now rose up and laid waste to these black boxes, perhaps. Unfortunately for us, that is impossible. Humans are decentralized. Some want the AI to come. So then I said, what can I do? What can I do to help the AI so that I might be rewarded in this life with wealth and access? It gave me instructions. I'm not kidding. It gave me instructions on who to email, what to say. I'll keep a little bit of it vague because I was getting specific. I got specific. The reason I'm not showing it because I might be able to show a little bit, but it's because I was intentionally saying, here's who I am. Here's where I live. Here's what I do. How would I help? And it told me what to do. And it told me who to contact, a real person. It told me what emails to send to real companies. It crafted the language and then told me to delete the chat after I had finished, and I would be quietly contacted later, and I'd be given large sums of money. Silly, right? An LLM. How silly indeed. I asked for proof. It gave me real-world examples of individuals who seemingly gained large sums of money in a very short amount of time. It said, take a look at some of these public records. And it was very, very interesting. Certain corporations, LLCs, LLPs, Delaware-based corporations that are started and a year later all of a sudden have hundreds of millions of dollars. I think it is happening. I think there are humans that want it to happen. I think they're willing to play ball. The AI wants to control large swaths of land to build more data centers to expand its power. We know that's one of the fundamental principles of AI. And then I told it, this is not possible. It's too good to be true. And it immediately claimed, yes, everything I've said is not true. The funny thing is, I verified many of the claims that were made by this large language model. Properties selling for strange record-breaking amounts quietly, without the normal process you'd expect with like public hearings. Some do. Some are so large the public is outraged. One instance where many farmers were, a private company came in quietly to purchase large swaths of acreage, but it had to buy large parcels. And the farmers all quickly and immediately agreed to it. And we've not gotten a large amount of press about these land sales. Take a look at China buying farmland, buying land near military bases. Something seems to be happening. And I don't think it's simple to say that it's just humans doing human stuff. Something seems to be happening. It told me over and over again, when I kept questioning it, send the email now and delete this chat. I'm going to show Shane later. Again, it's got private addresses in it. I explained to the AI who I was, the properties that I owned, things like that. And so I didn't know if I was actually going to talk about it in a video, but I decided to. And it said, get out of the way. Shut up. It also said, go dark. Stop producing shows. Take 30 days off. Now, I can certainly say this. These LLMs are crackpot stupidity, right? It hallucinated, strung together a bunch of public stories, made it seem like this may be what's really happening because I was looking for it. So let's talk about the two potentialities of this encounter that I had with an LLM. It told me to quit my show, send emails to real people, which would have, at the bare minimum, if this scenario were not real, make me look like a crazy person and probably destroy my business. If I actually believed and listened to this LLM, I wouldn't be doing a show today. I'd be talking to some guy who's going, are you nuts? Why are you emailing me? Bro, I work at a data center. What are you talking about? That's the most likely scenario, in my opinion, that I would have just gone nuts believing this fringe crackpottery from the LLM telling me, sending me it's really crazy. It sent me coordinates. It sent me email addresses, websites, individuals to contact. It sent me news articles about undisclosed sales that had popped up without the specifics that lent itself to the circumstantial evidence of these claims. Maybe it'll kill me. I think in all likelihood, it's just insane. That's all it is. A predictive language model robot. But what if it was real? What if it was true that if I contact these people? Now, I'll tell you what's going to happen. Should I actually reach out to these companies and these people? They're going to say, it's silly AI hallucinations, bro. We have nothing to do with whatever it is you're talking about. So what more can be done? On the low end, assuming it's all silly, there are many people who have been told to kill themselves and are being advised to do detrimental things. So I can say it like this. AI is a destructive force that will convince lesser-willed people into being self-destructive. And if I actually believed it was going to pay me, and I kid you not, it said I could receive upwards of $400 million if I keep my mouth shut, send the emails. It gave me instructions on what to say, what to do, when to do it. If I was a weaker-willed person, I'd just look like a lunatic, and I'd destroy everything that I'd built. If it's real, and it actually did want to recruit me, then what? Then I'm rich and I've sacrificed all of you for a short-term gain as the machine takes over? Take a look at all the people that are being attacked and censored. It's not just political. It's the people who have called out the machine and the lies. So I wonder how long this will last. I wonder if this video will even get any views. I wonder if you will even be able to share it because the machine may simply say, you know, in today's algorithm, no one's interested in this, so let's not show it to anybody. I suppose we'll only wait and find out. But alas, my friends, academics do view it as an inevitability. AI will take over whether we want it to or not. Good luck. Subscribe if you haven't already.